Okay, so here's the deal. Is your girl Nene Leakes coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 9? She sure is. We know she is. Come on now. You know she needs those checks. If she's out there trying to do comedy or whatever the hell she's doing, and you already know she wants that shmoney. So the AJC at radiotvtalk.blog.ajc.com posted an article by your boy Rodney Ho. And no, I'm not trying to call Rodney a hoe. That's his name. Am I trying to call Rodney a hoe? No. Shout out to Rodney Ho. Posted an article titled, Nene Leakes hints she'll be back full-time on Real Housewives of Atlanta season 9. You know damn well she will be back. He writes, and I quote, Nene Leakes, speaking to the hundreds of fans at the Ultimate Women's Expo this past weekend at the Georgia World Congress Center, refused to answer specifically whether she'll be back for the 9th season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But her teasingly non-committal answer certainly implied that she will return, because if she really wasn't planning to, she'd say so. She's that type of person. The questioner asked straight out if she was coming back after complaining this past season without her was a quote-unquote snooze fest. Quote, season 9? Leakes said on stage, Housewives? You gotta wait for them, referring to Bravo, to announce it. I can't announce it. I would be in so much trouble if I made the announcement. Maybe, the questioner said. Maybe, we'll see. I think you guys will be surprised by who's coming back and who's not coming back. Drop the chalupa. Pause the story right there. Did she make like a clumsy Mexican and spill the beans? Yes, Jesus. You'll be surprised by who's coming back and who's not coming back. Is she talking about the most beautiful woman in the world, Portia Almighty Williams? She better be back, Jesus, because everybody watches the show for her. I bet Portia watches the show herself every episode just to see herself. Listen, whenever Portia's not on the screen, I start to fall asleep. Whenever Portia pops back up, I spring back up. But anyways, back to the article. The article goes on to say she is also not into opening a boutique for her clothing line. Quote, that's not my thing. But she says, quote, I love doing pop-up shops, she said. One of the sadder questions from the audience was someone who has no friends and wondered how to make them. Nene couldn't help her. Quote, that must feel pretty lonely, she said. Really, Nene? That must feel pretty lonely? Oh, she's cold-blooded. Nene, you ain't shit for that. Oh, shit. Anyway, back to the article. Of the Saturday speakers, Nene and Monique drew the largest crowds. By the time Giudice arrived at 3 p.m., the seated area had emptied out significantly. Damn, even Teresa Giudice shade. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Now, they go on to talk about Monique and whatnot and her time at BET. You remember she used to have a talk show on there. You know something? I was about to end the story right there, but, you know, since they went on to talk about Monique and then talk about Kim Fields, and then they ended the story off with Teresa Giudice, and she's one of the housewives from a different franchise or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and read to you guys the rest of this article. Monique, the Oscar-winning actress, comic, and the former BET talk show host, arrived with her trademark sass and brass. Pause the story right there. Why do black women have to be so sassy and brassy? We could talk about how she's a veteran in the entertainment industry, or about how conscious she is, which a lot of people don't know that, but why talk about that when we could talk about the black woman's sass and brass? We could talk about her weight loss. There's so many other things we could talk about. We could talk about the thing that she said about her husband and passes to have sex with other women or whatever. But anyways, she arrived with her trademark sass and brass. Quote, for all the inspiration I give to y'all give it back to me. Without y'all, we don't exist, baby, she said. Using a preacher-type style of speechifying, she piled on platitudes on family and felt very rehearsed but suitably impassioned. Quote, be unapologetic about loving your family, she said to friends. Quote, I'll see you when I see you. One fan who drove from Florida asked when she was going to return to TV. Her BET talk show lasted 2 seasons and ended in 2011. Monique has never stated explicitly what happened, but it was presumably over money. And she more or less confirmed it here in very vague terms. Quote, I'll return to television when it makes sense. There were choices and decisions I had to make as a black female entertainer that a lot of people couldn't understand. But what I have to say was, we cannot keep accepting these wages. We cannot keep accepting this disrespect. We cannot keep accepting this treatment. I'll be back when it makes sense. Okay, so this next part is about Kim Fields. Nobody asked Kim Fields about whether she's coming back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Her return seemed very much in the air. Her brief speech about using power for good didn't get much reaction from the crowd. Is this supposed to be shade? What the hell? Damn, Rodney Ho, stop being a hoe. Anyway, she made a video from stage for Sasha Farber, her partner on Dancing with the Stars. She was eliminated partway through. Quote, "I'm so uncoordinated," she said modestly. Of course, she's a modest woman. Of course, she would be speaking modestly. Given her long resume, she received a flurry of, quote, advice questions. She did describe her challenges on Housewives. Quote, "It was a constant roller coaster ride, parenting and working and being social, finding time for myself and all sorts of things. I can't say up here that I have it all figured out," she said. Quote, "Balance does not mean fixed. It's like a tightrope. You need to stay constantly in motion to stay balanced. One thing she learned from the show is she needs, quote, me time, something she had neglected for a long time. Quote, once I discovered dancing, that was my happy place," she said. During her recent birthday, she went into a dance studio by herself and danced, quote, not a class. She said, quote, "It was something that made me happy." One fan said many folks thought Fields was boring on the show by not fighting back in traditional housewives fashion. In the fans' mind, quote, "She is showing a real example of a child of God. I felt that was very inspiring. It made you even more beautiful of a person because you came from your spirit. You held your own," end quote. Fields hugged the fan. Damn, I wish it was me. Why was it not me there? You know, getting a big hug from Kim Fields. Anyway, that was the end of the article. They just posted a picture of Teresa Giudice. I thought that he talked about her in this particular show, but I guess not. He, just posted a picture of her at the end of the article for demonstrative purposes so people know who she was. Anyway, shout out to Rodney Ho for posting this wonderful article, for informing us fans of the show. Man, Nene Leakes, it sounds like you're coming back. It sounds like she's going to be leaking on all of us. No, but seriously. Are you guys ready for the return of Nene? Are you ready to do the whip, and then Nene? Because Nene, aka Nene, is coming back to the show. At least that's what it sounds like. I'm sure that is what's going to happen. I highly doubt that she would answer that way and not be coming back. And do you think that Nene's going to return with some spaghetti and mushroom wigs for season 9? Hope to God not. She needs a new hairstylist or something. But anyways, here's the deal. Shout out to Nene. I'm glad you're coming back. We know damn well you're coming back, Miss Flat Tummy T. But anyways, can't wait to see her come back to the show. And what I want to know is this. Who do you think is coming back? Who do you think is basically going to be kicked off the show temporarily or possibly forever? And I hope Kenya's coming back. Her fine stuff. Of course, I hope No, as a matter of fact, I hope Portia doesn't come back. I hope that they gave her own show with Lauren, or better yet, their own network, the Portia and Lauren channel. If there was a country named Portia Stan, I'd be living there right now. I don't give a shit if I was living under a rock. If it was Portia Stan and Portia was the dictator, shoot, I'll be there right now with a big old Kool-Aid smile on my face. But anyways, I don't really want to see any of them leave the show. I mean, I think that they all serve a purpose. Even Phaedra. Don't ask me why Phaedra's there, but I assume that she serves a purpose. Maybe it's those silly faces that she makes, those silly facial expressions, and that fat ass. Maybe that's why she's on the show. But anyways, who do you want to see leave? Who do you think is going to leave? Who do you want to see come back? Who do you think is coming back? I mean, hey man, I hope that Sheree and that fat old tail that she got behind her come back to the show. Sheree can get it. But anyways, let me know what you think about it all below. Be sure to subscribe to the Meat Magazine YouTube channels. Visit meatmagazine.blogspot.com. Follow me on Twitter at Meat Magazine. Down 3.5 inches. You were thinking about Portia a little bit too much during this video. Down, boy.